welcome to Davo the Dalek, episode 28, the final build. I've basically built up Davo in all the previous episodes, and this one is just about finishing up all the final tweaks to get it road ready. It's taken a while to get this episode done and out because there are so many final tweaks to make, and a lot more than I estimated, which has been the story for the last 2 years since I've basically been building Davo. I'm not going to get into a full build recap or flashback here, but I might do that sometime in future. In the previous episode, I finished off the dome, and that completed the basic rolling shell of the Dalek.
Oh, hello. This is an exploded view of a Dalek. This is Davo pulled down into his modular bits. The reason why I'm doing this is because I'm going to a harness to wire up all the different bits. So in the dome here there will be power to the eyeball, which is missing at the moment, and those dome lights have another pair of wires. In this section the rings will probably be a speaker. In future there will be cameras perhaps. That's down the road, don't need to allow for that. Any sort of harness sort of setup. Centre section, shoulders, there will be a screen probably, like a iPad style screen in front of that, and in the base section there will be an extra battery. So this is a mobility scooter which has its own battery. I'm not going to tap into that for the extras. I'm going to use an auxiliary battery just to run that's the speaker I was talking about, so that will go into the shoulder section. And we have Martmod here, so this is a custom made Dalek voice modulator, hence the mod part of the name. So I don't have space to put it in the shoulders. I would have liked to, but with all the leads and plugs and needing access to the knobs, that will have to go in the base section. And the iPad screen I was talking about, that will have to go in here. So this will require power, and cameras will probably go into this section and go through to there. So it sounds simple, doesn't it, when you look at it that way? But need to make this modular, as you can see, so we need plugs as well between these things. Can't be hardwired all the way through, so that's what I'm doing. I'm going to work out what to do.
So I'm looking at the cable harness to go down from inside the dome down into the neck ring section below. So I'm going to use some conduit that I've got left over from doing spotlights on cars. Don't know how many years ago that was. You can see here is the support for the dome to pivot on. So I've got limited spots to put cables where it's not going to get sheared. So here behind where my control is for lifting the eye up and down is where I'm going to position this. So it will get almost full travel. To do that, I'm going to put a little hole in the back here, so it still keeps it away from the mechanism. And I also have the dome lights to break into this conduit somewhere around here as well to go down through. But right now I'm just going to drill a hole to put this conduit through the base here. I'm making a battery hold down clamp out of a bit of leftover polycarbonate from the slats. So I want to put a bend in it, 90-degree bend, and since this is a thermoplastic, no idea what that means except that I can heat it up and bend it and it will keep that shape. So I'll stick this in my vise and clamp her up. I've got some notches here that I'm using to align heat gun, and just going to heat it up and bend it across there. Not sure how long this will take. I've overheated it a bit here, it's got all bubbly. Alright, that'll have to do. I only want 90 degrees. Is that too much to ask? It is only a battery holder. Like, no one's ever going to see it except me. Not happy with it, but it's functional. So why am I bending the polycarbonate? Well, here's why. This will sit over the battery, and I'll have a master on-off switch to cut off the battery supply, which will fit in this hole, which I've conveniently made, which I've made too small. Besides being a bracket to hold down the battery, I'm going to put a master switch in here. And obviously I've cut that out, so this pops in there, and yeah, I'll show you that mounted on the battery now. Okay, you can see here I've made a little caddy for the battery, which will go in here, and the bracket goes on top. Got some screws here to hold it down. Cable comes in from above, and there's also an inline fuse which will be going between the positive of the switch and the positive of the battery as the master off switch. Put it all in place now, wired it all up. There's an inline fuse tucked in behind here between the positive, the battery, inline fuse through the switch. The negative comes down here and goes through this hole. Plug in here. And what you can't see is that this is sitting on carpet at the moment on the floor of my garage. It's not sitting on the base, but the base has another bit of bracket here to secure the battery as well. So I might show you that later if I remember. But anyway, that's my battery setup done. I'm just showing off the caddy that I made for my Martmod, which is a voice modulator. It's an Australian-made one. It's a UK product. I don't think these are available anymore in Australia. Well, not in this format. Someone else might pick it up. But the guy who made this no longer makes them. Now I made a caddy pretty much custom fit around this. I glued all the bits of wood around it, hard up against it because the glue won't stick to this paint, and yeah, and added in the screws like after the fact, after gluing it, so I got the size right. Yeah, and it's held in with this lever, sort of held in place. It will slide out the top, but if that's sliding out the top, then I've got bigger issues than a loose Martmod, I can tell you. Yep, so my caddy's going to mount here, and the Martmod will be going. I'll slide down inside here, somewhere around here. Not sure where, but I'll work that out. All right, there it is fixed in. You can see it's pretty solid. It flex, but it doesn't really matter. Yeah, so Martmod just put in there and wind that round. That's pretty solid. Like I say, it will fall out if I roll the Dalek. I hope that was never going to be a problem. And the cable harness, you can see it over here, it looks a bit messy at the moment, but that will come in from the side. So we have the Martmod here connecting over to the cable harness over here, and power comes from the battery. Right, I showed you that. So that comes up the wall over underneath here, and will connect to this harness here. So got power going to the Martmod, and we've got power going up to the dome, where it's powering the eyeball, the Dalek eyeball. So, and you can see I'm using a bit of what do you call this? Conduit used by, which I used for some automotive spotlights, and you can see, yeah, that allows sort of flexing of the dome side to side. And this one is the speaker at the moment. It's a bit of a, I don't know if you can see that. It's a bit temporary at the moment because I'm not sure how it's going to work. So I'm not fixing that permanently. That's why everything's sort of run loosely there. Things were going pretty smoothly until I knocked my crimping tool off the edge of the skirt and bashed a hole in one of my my hemispheres on the skirt. I've got no spare hemispheres, so what I did was patch it up with a trick using bicarbonate of soda and super glue. It creates a filler which is quite hard, and you can sand it, etc., as you would expect a filler. I didn't capture that process, but you can check it out on the web, I'm sure, if you're interested. This harness is removable. That's the one that goes up to the dome, and that will stay attached to the dome. And when I remove the dome, I'll feed that harness through. Yeah, I'll show you that when it gets to assembly, I guess, because that's coming around here. This is where the harness comes up. Bad light here, unfortunately. Looking at where the harness comes up through the dome platform, we've got the automotive conduit here and feeds into the back of the eye, and you've got this other lead here which will connect to the dome lights when the dome actually goes on. Dome sitting over there, by the way. And this will spin around, and as I've sort of detailed earlier, this cable sort of misses, it will feed through down here and misses everything and doesn't get sheared off because it stops. And yeah, that's basically the overview. The eye's still to go on. That's the power to the eye, which is the little LED screen. And yeah, nearly there, nearly there. That's basically the wiring. It's fairly simple compared to other people. Like, I'm not using servo motors and remote controls and all that sort of stuff. I had grand designs of doing that, but reality is it takes a lot of work and more than I'm prepared to do. So I'm going through the final tweaks here, and here's the Dalek base here with the mobility scooter as the mobility, and we're looking at the clearance here. So I designed this with, I think, about 100 millimeters clearance. Not sure how well it shows up. Yeah, about 100 millimeters clearance is what I was aiming for. I think it's less than that. Looks more like 60. And it is too low. Took for a few test drives just around my backyard and stuff, testing it on ramps and risers, and you can see here that it's got a very shallow approach angle and it's not good enough. I've got to raise this platform up and re-engineer that somehow. I've raised the level of the platform up, so I don't know if you noticed prior, but the bar under here was sitting on top of it before, so now it's raised up. It's about 40 millimeters higher than it was prior. Actually, you'll see here what I've done. So I've got two different configurations for the platform now, a high and low setting depending on where I'm going. You can see here the support bar was just the bar itself prior, but now I've got this extra height for the high setting, and I can rotate this bar for the low setting, so I can keep both settings going. Would have been nice to have like a lawnmower and have adjustable height settings, but I couldn't work it out. So this is the best I could come up with. So I've got two different settings, high and low, depending on whether it's like a flat surface, like a function or conference, something like that, or high setting if I'm out riding bike paths or on the streets. Here's the inside of the Dalek and the motor scooter. I'm going to put my feet down here. So this is not very well protected for my feet. I'm usually barefoot in this thing. And I got these tyres running right where my feet go. So my heels are often here or down here and pointing out this way. And I want to put some guards on these tyres so I don't sort of scrub my feet as I go along. So I tried using a bit of the original fairing, and that sort of fits, it works, but it constrains the space too much because I want to put my heels here, which means I have to cut out centre bit. Take that away again, show you. Cut out around here to get the heel space behind, to get my feet down there. So I've got to come up with a different idea. So I thought, okay, how about a piece of PVC pipe? But it doesn't quite work. I can adjust the angle of the curves and everything with heat it up, but it doesn't quite work. It's not quite big enough. The angles aren't quite right. And looking at what I need here is something that's curved. This friggin' cord's getting in the way. Something curved to shroud here for protection. And then I thought, oh, I think my wife needs a new laundry bucket. So I can use like a quarter of that to cover the wheels. That should work. Here's the wheel guards for my feet in place. You can see that they work, but I'm going to have to paint them, I think. And I've fitted them to the front of some other covering here, which I wasn't going to use, but it covers up all the wiring and open mechanical stuff, so I'll use that too. When you're driving a Dalek, one of the things you've got to deal with is the bad visibility, because you can't see behind you. Your peripheral vision's a bit awkward, and you can't see low, like around the skirt of the Dalek. So I'm going to use this bit of mirrored perspex as like try and cut some bits off and try and use it as a rear vision mirror. And I got this guy chainsawing down a tree next door. Anyway, where I'm going with this, I've got this mirrored perspex, which is pretty good. It's almost glass mirror-like. I'm going to cut that down and try and turn it into bits of rear vision mirror. You can only put so much flex into it before it distorts the image badly. So anyway, I'll see if I can use that. Don't know where the hell I got it from, but it's finally found a use. This is the speaker that I'm using for the Dalek voice. It sits at the top of the ring section and pokes out the front, and it swivels, as you can see. It's actually meant for like a CB radio extension speaker, and just happens to be in exactly the right spot for my rear vision mirror, which I've cut out and sized and positioned, and that swivel is perfect for adjusting my mirror. It doesn't really matter if the audio is poking directly out the front or high or low. And yeah, it's going to work quite well. But the rear vision mirror isn't enough. I'm going to need some sort of cameras as well, I think, to get proper visibility. Is it possible for a project to be cursed? Right when I'm trying to bring this thing to a close, there's even more battle damage to fix up now. It just doesn't want to get finished. I'm sure of it. I'm going to take you through the breakdown of the Dalek and how I would transport it and reassemble it on site. So I've got starting with the dome at the top. Still got the stalk on it, the dome steering stalk. I could take that off to break it down further. And we've got the shoulder and ring section here. Still got the arms attached. They could come out for transport as well, but I've decided to leave them in. I've got the skirt section here, which is just an empty kind of ring, really. There's nothing in the base. The Martmod is in place. There will be a battery on the side, but there's nothing much else to the skirt. Got the base board here, which you've seen plenty of. This is the breakdown of the scooter section. I've got the seat at the back, the battery module. There's the rear drive section, the front steering section, and the cover which goes over the front wheels to protect my feet. So that's the whole assembly in exploded view. So I'm just going to put it all together now and do a dry run for going out on site. So that bit of video was 100% real-time assembly of the Dalek. There was no editing involved. Of course, there's always lessons learnt. There should be some conduit around this, which I couldn't find at the time, and because I was videoing, I didn't have time to find it. This is Dyneema rope. I need to find a quicker way, I think, of doing a quick tie off here than that. What else we got? So I could do a connector on the dome lights. At the moment, it screws into a terminal block. Everything else is on connectors. And you're always finding little things. Don't know if you're going to pick this up, but this screw here is starting to lose its thread, and I need some backing behind that. It's only screwed into this like 11 millimeters thickness here, 3 screws, and it's not going to hold much longer. Bottom side's all right because it's like double thickness, but it's only single thickness up here. I need to fix that up. Of course, there's the rear vision to sort out yet with cameras, or maybe side vision as well, or low vision. And of course, I've got this bloody thing as well to fix up. So it's not quite done. Not quite done. And okay. Also, with my dry run, I was not prepared with the image. Had the wrong image up. Couldn't tell because I was inside the Dalek. So another thing to note when I do the final assembly to check the image displaying on the eyeball. But that's Davo, right? That's Davo.
G'day, I'm Davo.
This is my journey to live the dream. Come along with me on my build journey down the wormhole.